Now, this is where I'm going to say that I was wrong. Now, I'm not even going to, I think this is an article. Let me see. I think this is an article. Surreal. I got so many tabs open. I got so many tabs open. I got to make sure that we get everything squared away. I don't want to jack it up. All right. So, yeah, let's dive into this article real quick. Let me go ahead and cue this up. Share screen. I think it's this one right here. Let's go ahead and take a look at this article. Dalton dictator Mayor Tiffany Henyard ruthlessly jeered out of a meeting in another surreal moment for Illinois village. That outfit on the wild is wild. The outfit on the right is wild. But all right, dictator Mayor Tiffany Henyard was ruthlessly jeered out of a municipal meeting she barged into minutes on Monday night, marking another surreal moment for the. Excuse me. Oh, man. Oh, my bad. Your boy took some sinus medication. Now it's all just kind of flushing out. All right. Uh, where are we at? The self-proclaimed super mayor arrived at the board meeting organized by sparring trustees an hour late, and when she tried to speak, the embattled poll was mocked, booed, and shouted out. I'm the mayor of the village of Dalton, Henyard said dramatically before a chorus of jeers rained down on her. Hold on, respect, guys, respect, she said in a as the commotion continued. Let me make my statement or I'm going to leave your illegal meeting. But attendees, and we're going to talk about the two meetings and the lawsuit, but attendees didn't seem to care as they continued to shout at her after she rose to her feet, pressed the microphone on the table, and delivered an ill-fated speech. Some residents even turned their back on her, the Chicago Tribune reported. She said she was there to mark a trio of appointments to fill vacancies, but after 7 futile minutes, she ended up leaving. Okay, let's talk about this right here because literally, I don't know. Yeah, okay. DFD can say when he is wrong, even if it's begrudgingly, but I was completely wrong. I thought that she wouldn't even bring up these appointments and try to do another appointment after the whole, I guess, lip service that the judge provided. Long story short, recap: Tiffany Henyard tried to appoint essentially three persons in her role as the mayor of the village of Dalton. Two roles. She tried to appoint an acting chief of police. She tried to appoint a new village administrator, and I can't remember what the third person was offhand. But she tried to make these appointments. As we all know, these appointments with any municipality, any state, city, local, federal level, the executive makes the appointment. Essentially, the Senate, the committee, the trustees, the council, they have to vote to allow that confirmation of that appointment so that appointment can take over the position and start filling the duties. She made the appointments, and there were never any confirmation by the trustees. So what did the trustees do? They finally got their shit together and came up with an idea that was smart that we gave them credit for. They filed a temporary restraining order. The judge actually did his job and looked and said, yo, you can't make these appointments unilaterally without them being confirmed by the trustees. So, hey, he temporary restraining order in place to halt all those appointments. In true fashion, what happened? These appointees still try to show up. They try to assume their positions. They try to go to the police department and assume command. So it ends up going back to court, and the judge is like, yo, tell your people to stop showing up. If you try to do anything else, I'm going to hold you in contempt for violating this temporary restraining order put in place to hold these illegal appointments. Well, I saw that and thought, man, this is probably the closest that she's ever been to actually being in contempt or having a real threat of custody. So I gave her 60 days. I had no reason. I said it, and y'all got on me in the comments. Y'all was like, "Yo, stop wearing a cape. Don't be Captain Sabo." But I was like, "No." I said, this is actual not only just a threat of potentially being in contempt, but you could actually go to jail for something like this if you're in front of the wrong judge. Now, I did say the judge looked a little soft because he had a chance to knock her over over the head and didn't. But I said at least 60 days. She wouldn't do anything on the appointment side of the game because that would be crazy. I don't even think she's that crazy. I think it was like 4 days, 3 days. So, hey, shout out to me for being completely wrong. Uh, that's funny. The girls are waiting on her in prison. That's the third position. Thanks. I appreciate that common sense. It was a new attorney, the chief of police, and the village administrator. But I was completely wrong. I thought for certain, I don't know, that it would be a 60 days where she didn't touch the appointments, considering that the restraining order, the judge admonishing her, it was so new. And I was like, oh, she might actually get, she might actually go, a week or so, 2-3 days. She not going to make another appointment. But a few days later, she made an appointment. So, hey, shout out to me for being wrong as hell. She said she was there to make a trio of appointments to fill vacancies, but after 7 futile minutes, she ended up leaving. Now, the question is, I guess the legal question is that an actual violation of the temporary restraining order? The temporary restraining order is like, yo, and we went through it. I think we actually pulled it up and read the argument that they made for the temporary restraining order. But essentially, it said you can't do anything on the appointment side of the game. Chill out. And this says she was there to make a trio of appointments to fill vacancies, but after several futile minutes, she ended up leaving. I don't know, and I haven't watched the video. I just read the article. Hold, let me see. Another thing I want you to understand about the board of trustees is they are all corrupt. Every last one of them up here is corrupt, she claimed, leading up to her exit. Okay. I don't necessarily know. It could be. I know I know y'all hate, like, dude, get an answer. it could be considered a violation, but I'm probably gonna err on the side of no. For a few reasons. One, I think the fact that she was booed out and she ultimately made an exit was just something that worked out to her favor. If I'm attempting to make an appointment, and we're going to assume that, let's say the appointment is illegal, I'm just trying to appoint these people. Actually, not staying there to see it through is a good ground for an argument that, I didn't violate the order because I was trying to make an appointment and I wasn't able to even consider out going through with the process because there was so much pandemonium and tomfoolery going on. So I think that's one argument. The other argument is how would you define what she was doing when she said that she's here to make an appointment? Let me see. It says she said she was there to make a trio of appointments to fill vacancies. I don't know if that in and of itself, just based on that language, how it's written in this article, would be a violation of the TRO. Because let's say I'm the president, right? And I want to I just won an election. I want to take out the U.S. attorney because I don't like how he do business. I want to get my own. Hey, I got a homeboy I went to school with. He gonna be the next United States attorney. If I go forward and say, hey, I want to appoint whatever Tom Smith for attorney general, and I put Tom Smith up there. He's the United States U.S. attorney running all the DOJ. That necessarily in and of itself, just because I say I'm trying to appoint these people, that doesn't mean I'm necessarily trying to circumvent Congress's power to actually confirm that appointment. So I think the wording here can go either way. If I step up and say, yo, I'm here to appoint these 3 people, and they ask me, oh, you tried to you violated the temporary restraint. Because I saw a video I clipped on the news where they were all giving high fives and shit. Like, I don't know if it was that exciting because if I say I'm here to appoint 3 people and then I leave and I'm in front of a judge and the judge like, it looked like you violated the restraining order, Marcus. You weren't supposed to do anything with the appointments. My argument would be, no, I was doing with what was within my authority to do. I had my 3 people there who I were going to appoint. I didn't even get a chance to finish what I wanted to do because I had to leave 5 to 7 minutes later. And after, hey, these are my 3 persons who I want to appoint in this position. And now I hand it over to the trustees to do their thing to vote on the confirmation of said appointment. So it could go either way. I think the facts just around what she said, how she left 5 to 7 minutes after saying that, I think it probably will lean a little bit more towards, I don't know. If I were a judge, I wouldn't necessarily find that in with those facts a violation of the temporary restraining order. And I'm gonna just be honest. I feel like the judge had her dead to rights the first time and he didn't take the opportunity. So he's probably gonna give her leverage because I personally don't think that I think the judge wants to do his job, but I also think that the judge doesn't want to necessarily get caught up in this shit show of events that just happen to be going on. That's just kind of, I don't know. That's kind of my take. Let's go ahead and check out the comments. Never give Ben. I know every now and then I put my cape on and I just wanted to be Captain Save him, but I don't know. I just thought it was so fresh. I was like, this can't happen. But hey, you're right, Lisa. I was goofy. Is it legal for Tiffany to give residents 100% of their property taxes back without board approval? I don't know how that. Without knowing anything further, that would completely and 100% probably be illegal because what allows the township to get money from property tax revenue is it's codified. It's written in a law that's on the books. You can't unilaterally be like, you know what, I'm giving everybody there. That would essentially bankrupt the township. The township would be fucked. Pardon my language. If she did that, I'm gonna give back everybody 100% of their property taxes. Property taxes is like the #1 vehicle that the Thornton Township uses to actually collect revenue to do things like infrastructure, like roads, highways, all the important things that probably need to be done. So yeah, without knowing any more, is a strong 99.9% possibility doing something like that would probably be illegal. Yeah, she did not officially appoint. Yep. See, I agree. Shout out to you, Common Sense. She was trying to veto the board's attempt to block their decline to accept her appointments. Facts. The judge said she couldn't make the assignments. Now she couldn't lobby for the appointments. Yeah, and that's how I interpreted that. I interpreted that as just like, hey, these are my people who I want. Now, whether you all vote for them to confirm them or not, that's a completely different question. Yeah, except she cannot overturn them necessarily unless she follows the due process of what is the veto process of board declination. I don't know. I should look that up. Could she veto the judge ruling like that? Nah. She can't do anything necessarily to the judge's ruling. Like the mayor has no ability, mayor, supervisor. This is in her role as mayor, but she can't do anything to the judge's ruling. The judge's ruling is the judge's ruling. Only person who can change the judge's ruling is a higher court saying that the judge did something improper. She was bidding to get her appointments accepted and to remove Freeman, which is not illegal. Yep, I agree. Those are all good points, everyone. Shout out to you all. Y'all got y'all co-counsel hat on today. But I agree. I don't think that's going to be anything that the judge can presumably do anything about. Let's see. I agree. What is going on? Okay, my shit froze up a little bit. That was weird. Okay, as long as she followed the process of the order, then it's not a violation. Hanya asked for a vote on her appointments, but the trustee said it wasn't on the agenda. Yeah, yeah. The a violation isn't going to occur. That's a good point, James. A violation is not going to occur unless she goes there and says, "I'm appointing these people," and the board doesn't vote to confirm them, or they just do nothing. And yeah, 100% right. They show up the next day and start doing stuff. Even if they show up the next day, she still has an argument because if it were me, if I were her attorney and the newly appointed police chief just randomly showed up to try to assume command, I'd be like, I didn't tell him to do that, Your Honor. I nominated the people. I put my appointees up for the board, the trustees to actually vote on. They didn't vote, and I said it is what it is. Now the fact that that sounds unfeasible as hell, though. That sounds like cap, but even if they show up to work, for me, I would have to see some type of express evidence that, hey, she put these people up, they didn't get confirmed, and she gave some type of instruction and or guidance for them to show up. Now, if they show up unilaterally on their own, that could be another restraining order against those individuals in those positions who are trying to show up. But I think for there to actually be a violation, they would actually have to show up for work. And I think you have to have that nexus to connect her to them showing up, which is some, direct evidence saying that that's what she instructed to do. That's my take on it. Yeah, I believe it. In my opinion, I believe it's a violation. Just the entire context and sharing the video shows she was in contempt. She started off by having a woman attorney seated. Like, I mean, it's fair. I can see an argument for both sides, but I don't think that the argument for either it was contempt or it wasn't contempt, it's all going to boil down to how does the judge interpret what she was trying to do? And the only evidence of what she was trying to do is going to be what she says during that contempt hearing. And if she just went up there, now she might be this, she could absolutely be this foolish and ridiculous to go up there in a contempt hearing and say, I just wanted to appoint my people because they need to be in that seat no matter what. That's crazy. But I don't think I'd be shocked. She has enough attorneys around her. I don't know how they're getting paid. I have issues and don't know in what capacity they're representing her for what. But she has enough attorneys around her to know if she has to go to a contempt hearing, she got to pull the card of, hey, I was just appointing my people. And by appointment, I mean that, hey, these are the people I want you to vote for a nomination on. But I mean, there's an argument either way. But I think the stronger argument is that it was just her doing what she was within her right to do. And then when they showed up next day, they were on payroll. Then the TRO is valid. If they were not approved through the appointment process, yep, that's the bottom line. Is the were they approved through the appointment process? If yes, is a non-issue. If no, this is the analysis. Did you appoint? And by appoint, we're going to assume appoint mean nominate. Okay. Did you appoint these persons to assume these positions? Yes. The next question is, did the board of trustees actually vote to confirm these people? Yes. If they voted yes, no issue. If they voted and they voted no, or they didn't vote, the next question is, did these people actually show up to work to try to assume the roles that you nominated / appointed them for? If the answer is yes, the nexus is going to be, did they show up under your instruction? That's it. For me, you have to have that nexus of her giving some type of instruction or communication. And I think that would be hard to find unless she just was stupid enough to get on the stand and expressly say that. Ah, good point. Good point. And she did not respond to the clerk's request to place those appointments on the agenda after she left the room and her illegal attempt for a board meeting. Okay, that's a good point. Shout out to you. The way she phrased it, she said she intended to place it on the agenda. It was campaigning. Look what I am willing to do, but it's not my fault if the board blocks it. Yeah, and a lot of this is all interpretation. We all interpret. Yeah, she said that at the last thought to cancel meeting. It's never my agenda. Yeah. The so-called newly appointed attorney was at her illegal meeting and she followed her into the next board meeting. I believe the papers included both the chief and Mr. Dots. I agree. Yep, they were. All right, let's go ahead and let's see. Do we even need to dive deeper in that article? Because I only think I needed that article for that limited purpose. The outfit is just cracking me up. Yeah, yeah, yeah. We can split out of that article. But yeah, shout out to you all. Shout out to me for being completely wrong, thinking she wouldn't do something that could give the appearance of a violation. She did it within 48 hours of me saying that. But I don't think it's a violation. I don't think they'll have that nexus there. And as long as these guys aren't trying to show up to work to do their job and they don't have that nexus connecting her to them showing up, I think she's going to be good to go. And like I said, the judge, I don't know, he's given, he likes to uh, bark. His bark is louder and more intense than any biting that he could possibly do.